Everyone, what you're going to see behind me is probably the start to one of the biggest transitions inside of our country, one of the scariest things that I have ever seen in my modern time, and that is a member of government openly calling for a military coup. He's using a little bit of language barriers that allow him to, through verbiage, basically ask the military and the uniformed individuals of our service to coup against the president and the current administration. I want you to watch it for yourself. I want you to really take it in to see what is exactly happening and what do you think is going to happen in the near future because of it.
Unprecedented disrespect when they were all brought to get a pep rally in front of Hegseth and Trump. This is an administration that's fired, uniform generals from the head of the NSA, the head of the Defense Intelligence Agency. And I think in many ways, the uniformed military may help save us from this president and his lame people like Hegseth, because I think their commitment is to the Constitution and obviously not to Trump, and I expect Bradley to adhere to that.
Listen to that one more time.
In many ways, the uniformed military may help save us from this president and his lame people like Hegseth, because I think their commitment is to the Constitution and obviously not to Trump, and I expect...
He says the uniformed military may save us from Donald Trump, the president of the United States of America. Now, if you don't think that there are people inside of the military right now who are waiting for go-aheads, that is calls to action by political leaders, they have already discussed these things in very closed meetings. They're using encrypted channels of communication. There are cells of individuals right now who are waiting for certain trigger events to happen so that they could maybe lay the way for this type of action. So here we have the senator. This is Senator Mark Warner. He is saying that the uniformed military, that means our generals, our service people, right now will save us from Donald Trump. And that is their hope. Maybe that's their call to action right here. So definitely one of the scariest videos that I've ever seen. If this isn't happening to you yet, this is why I'm showing it to you. It is about to happen to you.
I'm going to show you the craziest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. You ready? This is our electric bill for 1 month. We live in the beautiful state of Connecticut. Our total supply that we used for the month was $236.71. The transmission was $87.01. The local delivery, I don't know how the fuck they deliver it, but we have to pay for it. It's $175.16. And then we have a thing called public benefits. So this is the people who can't pay for their electric bill. And we pay for it. It's $227.76. So I am paying to keep somebody else's lights on.
So you're paying taxes to feed people who don't want to go to work. They're rolling into public benefits bills. You're paying for other people to have programs that are not only funded by the government and state and federal levels to keep people's lights on, it's also you that they're taxing for it. This is going to happen all across our country.
Is not a vague economic theory. The founders of this country knew that a free people could not remain free if the government controlled where they lived and what they could do on their property. The right to private property is the right to be secure in what you have earned and the right of the individual to determine who has access. And that is why the Fourth Amendment is so important. It clearly states that the government cannot come on your property without due process that has been reviewed by a judge. And that's not a legal loophole. That is the defense against government overreach.
Now, what you're hearing State Representative Ken Borton say right here, they are definitely rolling this into the immigration enforcement that is happening because there is no Fourth Amendment right that is being upheld when there is any suspicion of criminality for people entering into this or living inside of our country, non-assimilators who are living inside of our country illegally. So those are criminals. When you're a criminal and the government knows it, they can come and get you. If they suspect it, without a judge saying, yes, it looks like you're right, the suspicion you have is right, then they can't come onto your property. They can't come into your vehicle. They can't do any of these things. But because of the direction that we are going right now, what they have allowed to happen is the government is coming into your property. The government is using your cellular data. They are tracking you. They are going through all of your text messages. They are reading through private purchases, your emails, your phone calls, your location data. The US government right now is in a very gray area for this. So they're going to say that we should oppose these enforcement actions. But right now they're good. My concern is for when they don't turn so good.
Also, you know, it's interesting, if an aircraft carrier of the United States was deployed off the coast of Japan, or was the coast on the Pacific somewhere, or was deployed in the Mediterranean, or in somewhere off the coast of Europe, everybody would be happy because it would show America's commitment to our security partnerships that we have around the world. But somehow, if an aircraft carrier and our naval assets are deployed in our own hemisphere, that's problematic. I would say that if you're focused on America and America first, you start with your own hemisphere where we live. What happens here, I'm not saying things that are happening halfway around the world are not important. I'm saying what happens in our hemisphere impacts us faster and more deeply than something that's happening halfway around the world.
There you have Secretary of State Marco Rubio discussing us getting ready to enforce American military action on Venezuela. He says if we put our aircraft carriers, all of our service people over around China, we put them up through Europe, we tag them along through NATO, everybody's happy about it on the left side of government. You put them in an enforcement capacity and position around the United States of America, whether it's creating a border wall across the entire country, whether it is protecting the American people from drug trafficking or narco trafficking, that is problematic. Why is that? Well, let me tell you why. It's because there are a lot of people who are involved in the enforcement that is happening right now. There's a lot of people who want misdirection to be the Sesame Street phrase of the day. This is from the President of the USA. He hereby declares null and void basically every action that they can tie to Joe Biden, that's the previous president's auto pen legislative works. And because you don't see Biden out there in public, think about that. Why don't you see Biden or his wife, who was controlling a lot of this? Why don't you see them on the news saying that this is against the law, or this should not be happening, or the president has gone too far? Why don't you see that? It's because during the Biden administration, they allowed a certain subset of individuals to enforce presidential action. And because of that, the current president, Donald Trump, is basically saying, no, none of that is valid. Now, that's going to have some good and it's going to have some bad. And I don't think we have ever seen anything just be good, only good, and not with the potential for some bad things to happen. Now, here's a concern, right? So Trump's in office and in power right now. What happens if in the next election period, or we lose some seats or whatever takes place, what happens if they say, Trump put these actions and enforcement capabilities into the hands of the White House, and now they're going to use it against you? And so that's a real concern that I have, folks. They say that veterans are right here slamming the seditious six in a crystal clear message. This is a post by the White House.
The White House has made it very clear the orders that come from the Commander-in-Chief and the Secretary of War have been upheld as lawful. Suggesting otherwise creates confusion and weakens our national security.
For these senators and members of Congress to come forward.
So they've got some music playing. I don't want to play it in the background, but you've got multiple issues here with veterans. You've got multiple very clear and clear-cut ways that they're saying that what is being called for is sedition. What is being called for is a coup against Trump or a coup against the current administration. So, folks, things are getting hairy, and I'm going to do my best to continue doing the scrolling so you don't have to, but I'm going to show you the direction that we're going. So make sure you're subscribed here, Full Spectrum Survival on YouTube. Please, if you see a hype button down there, I have it activated on my side. If you do see a hype button pop up somewhere down there, please hype this video so that other people can get it. And let me know down in the comments if you see it or don't see it. Make sure you check back at 2 p.m. this afternoon for more breaking news and headlines from America and around the world. From my family to yours, please stay safe and, of course, keep watch.